and welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So what do you get when you mix Meet Joe Black with a murder mystery thriller and then with Grim Reapers who are actually agents of death? Well, what you get is this series right here by Netflix. It's called Beullaek. And this is actually a South Korean series that was aired in the OCN network in Korea from October 2017 to December of 2017. And obviously it's now on Netflix. And this is an absolutely awesome series. There's actually 18 episodes, with most of the episodes being over 1 hour, with some actual episodes being at 2 hours. Now, what's really great about this series is the fact that it mixes all these elements together and it makes sense for the most part, okay? And that's really hard to do because when you mix so many different elements, most of the times it comes out really bad. And some of the parts in the movie or the series, especially like the whole fantasy elements with the Grim Reapers, that could get kind of cheesy. But honestly, the thing that I love most about this series is the whole murder mystery part. You know, you are always guessing what's happening. You know, you're guessing who done it. And then once you think that you know what's going on, the series does something that completely throws you off, which is really cool. And so you're constantly watching each episode because you really want to solve this mystery. You really want to know who these characters are. And speaking of characters, there's a lot of characters in this series, but I'm going to focus on the main ones. So the main one is this guy right here, Gang, or Black, or Agent 444. And you'll understand what that means whenever you see this. And then there is another character. Her name is Haram. And then there's another girl. Her name is Soo-won. And another guy, he's actually the rich kid. He is Man-soo. And all of these characters and all the other characters that exist in the series, they all are attached to this whole murder mystery, which is the part that I enjoyed the most because I was really surprised. I really thought that because it was going to be something supernatural like Meet Joe Black, that the whole supernatural element was going to be what I was actually drawn to the most, the whole fantasy element. But much like Meet Joe Black, where it wasn't really about death inhabiting the person, it was actually death becoming a person and experiencing those things. This is really what this is about in terms of the characters evolving and growing. But all of that centers so much around this murder mystery, and there is a lot of back and forth between scenes of these characters being children and then being here and now. And also there's a lot of flashbacks of things that occur in particular parts of the series and they make sense later on. You know, that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I'm thinking like, well, why did this happen? Why did this character do this? And at first you're thinking that doesn't make any sense, or sometimes they're like, that's absolutely stupid. You know, how can this happen? But then as you watch later on in the series, it explains it and it makes sense. You know, and as I said, this is 18 episodes and they're pretty long. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed every single episode. And about the only episode I was really disappointed with was the actual last episode. I mean, it was extremely weak and it was extremely rushed. Okay, so if you watch the whole series, it's going to take you a while to watch all of it. The payoff, that very last episode, it just wasn't there. And honestly, if they did not have that last episode, I would have been fine with it if they just stopped at episode 17 and maybe ended it off a little better. Okay, so, but everything else, I enjoyed it. And like I said, the murder mystery part, when it was really in the real world, those were better, in my opinion, than the whole fantasy elements. And it's really hard not to talk too much about that without giving too many things away. And another thing I enjoyed about this actual series is all the other characters on here. I love the detectives. They are an awesome family of crazy misfits. You know, even though they're cops, they just have their own like dynamic. It's so funny. And then the actual Grim Reapers, the death dealers, they also have their own type of dynamic, and it's very comedic and funny. And then as you see the characters, both the human characters and also the fantasy characters, the supernatural characters, they evolve throughout this whole thing. And then when you see revelations of these characters' past and how it's all related, that's the best payoff, because you get the whole solving of the murder mystery. You understand why these characters are here, how they are connected with each other, and it's just so satisfying. And like I said, if it wasn't for the last episode, the really cheesy, really unsatisfying ending, I think this would have been one of the best Korean series that I've seen this year, or even outside of it, because of the fact that it really kept my attention. I wanted to know what's going on, and pretty much every single character in the show is extremely interesting and fully fleshed out for the most part. And that's, like I said, it's really difficult to do, and especially when you see how many characters that there are. So if you're looking for an awesome murder mystery slash fantasy slash, I would say, comedy in there as well, then check out Beullaek on Netflix. It's a series that you won't be disappointed with, just so long as you know that the very last episode is not all that great. I say, but everything else is awesome. And so if you have seen this series, or have you seen any other series similar to this, whether it's a South Korean, American, or any other country, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did enjoy these videos, you got value out of them, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geek Outdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com. And I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.